So if you were wondering if the New Mutants could possibly jump on over into the MCU and be a part of that playground and continuity, it definitely sounds like that's not going to be happening for multiple reasons that I will explain. So when it comes to New Mutants, it's been made clear, I think, that it's part of the old X-Men continuity. Now, I use continuity loosely when it's related to those films, because those films even used continuity loosely, even if they were sequels to one another. Like, they would constantly contradict what the previous film said and go do their own thing. Unlike the MCU, they try to make it really coherent. So recently, Charlie Heaton, who's one of the actors that's part of New Mutants, was asked about the possibility of him and the New Mutants, and could they work and would they appear in the MCU? And he goes on to talk a little bit about how this wouldn't really work because of what Josh Boone was saying previously. And what he was saying previously is the fact that the MCU heroes, they're just not that type of hero in this film. This film doesn't really lend itself towards that type of universe. And Josh Boone even clarified a little further, saying that the fact that, let's say in this movie, Wolverine showed up, it wouldn't make sense. Tonally, it would not make sense. Aesthetically, it wouldn't make sense because this movie goes out of its way to deliver its own type of unique voice that doesn't click with any of the other comic book movies out there. And if you just look at the footage, it's evident right then and there that this is exactly the case that he's presenting, because it wouldn't make sense. I mean, could you make it work? Sure. In the Multiverse of Madness, could make it work. That's going to be a darker, more horror film. But again, they approached it completely differently. It'd be sort of like if the MCU was to go, you know what we should do? We should just add Alien and Predator films into our continuity. I mean, yes, it's going to happen in the comics. They're coming to Marvel Comics, but again, it's different, right? It's going to be like this side thing. Then they're going to have their own individual comics. And, you know, you have Star Wars as part of Marvel, but they're not part of the core universe. You just can't make everything click together. You know, that's not what it's about. And that's kind of a waste. So I kind of understand what they're saying. So yeah, the New Mutants definitely would not fit into the MCU. And if the director even says, man, you couldn't even really fit Wolverine into this film, because even that would break the sort of tone and universe and world we built, I think that kind of tells you enough.